What is going on, everybody?
But,
We're supposed to be joined by Dr. Eric Lullove today. I'm just waiting to hear from him. He's probably got something going on with work right now, but we'll just hang out for a couple minutes and see if he joins us. But yeah, welcome to the Midweek Burn. Today we have the interview scheduled with Dr. Eric Lullove, and I wanted to go over some of his work, like as a podiatrist, go over some of the things in the Medicaid policy proposal that I put up the other day about some of the cuts that are going on with the big beautiful bill and everything. Oh no, you can't see anything. There he is. Dr. Eric, if you don't get your ass in here and talk to me, we're gonna have a problem. But yeah, I put up that policy proposal the other day because I had talked to somebody about their experience with Medicaid and how it saved their life and all that sort of stuff. So I thought it was really important to talk about as far as like what these, I just sent it again, Eric. As far as like what these cuts are doing to people with the big, beautiful bill, the big bullshit bill, and try to figure out from Eric's perspective, like exactly what's going on and what we can look at. I'm doing good, Sharon. How are you? I'm doing really good, actually. I had therapy yesterday and I don't know. I feel like myself, I guess. I feel like I have 100-pound gorilla lifted off my shoulders. Um, I don't know. I just feel like I'm getting back to myself and getting back to being healthy and everything. Eric, can you hear me? I can see him. No? Nothing? What is going on here? All right, everybody. I swear we're going to get it. We're just working through some technical difficulties. Me try to add him one more time. All right, hang on. We're working through some technical difficulties. But also, just personal stuff. I think that can you hear me?
I'm good.
All right. We're
There we
good?
go.
Yeah, there we
Now we're
go. There
good.
he is.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We have a world-renowned podiatrist, surgeon, expert in wound care,
Oh, stop.
veteran,
No,
on-demand expert witness, public speaker,
no.
community volunteer, pickleball expert, and my friend. What's up, man? How are you
How
doing?
you doing, buddy?
I'm d- I'm doing good. I was up late again last night. I couldn't sleep.
Mm.
But I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. I'm excited to talk to you today. How's your day going so far?
Actually, not bad. I had a great, 90-minute with Dr. Angie Rasmussen.
Oh, really? How'd that go?
Let me tell you, she's special. If anybody is not following her on Substack, really should. She's a virologist. She's based out of the University of Saskatchewan. She's the editor in chief of Vaccine. So she reached out to me after my measles article printed with Blue Amp.
Mhm.
So she wanted to talk to me a little bit. And then I had this whole, it's funny as hell. I had this whole, cause I actually invited her to talk. So I actually had this whole prep for our interview, and I didn't get to half of it because we started talking about other stuff. We started talking about, uh, Save America movement that she's involved with, and
Mhm.
started talking about Dean's vaping and like and just like her how she knows Steve and Mary Schmidt and how so yeah, and she didn't have a lot of nice things to say about the ACIP. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh my
but
gosh.
and we just had a really good conversation. We're gonna schedule a live next Tuesday, so I'm gonna get it published and give everybody enough advance notice, and I'm gonna do it through Restream, so it's on multiple outlets.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love it. It's good.
I got, I
I think
gotta, I
that's awesome, man,
gotta,
that you
yeah,
guys
The Nick.
take the time to not only go outside of like being a doctor and everything, but just to keep everybody informed and stuff. What I want to talk to you about podiatry a little bit. I know it's not the hot topic and everything. What made you what made you get into it? Like what was the important thing or like
Oh,
when you were in medical school that you
so
recognized?
yeah, so my path being a podiatrist is a little bit different than what most people would have.
Mhm.
So like we talked about, I was in the service, I was a firefighter, and after I got out, I worked for Detroit Fire, and so I was doing that, and I was in my baccalaureate years at university, Wayne State University in Detroit, and then so working for one of the municipality cities where my parents lived, I actually was doing that part time as well, and then so what happened was we wound up getting a cardiac arrest call.
Okay.
Um, Like, this is, like, 1995, I guess,
Uh-huh.
back in the olden times. Um,
Yeah.
and, so what basically happened was it wound up being my mom's best friend, her father,
Oh,
wound up being
wow.
cardiac arrested. He lived in the fire district he lived in the station district that I was serving at.
Mhm.
So, when we ran on the call, he was in full-blown cardiac arrest, and he wound up having an aortic aneurysm, and just the whole thing just exploded, and he was pretty much dead on we just couldn't bring him back. So
Mhm.
and at the end of the day, what really happened was his cousin or his nephew, second cousin, whatever, was a podiatrist in Chicago.
Okay.
And I he invited me to come out to see his practice, see his residency program. Hey Beth. Um, and that's kind of what got the impetus to me to get in there because I really didn't really understand what podiatrist did. I really didn't know at that point.
Mhm.
Um, and what I found out was how much of an effect a really good podiatrist can have an effect on a patient population. We
Mhm.
are we are the primary medical and surgical specialists of the lower extremity.
Mhm.
You know, people just think of podiatrists as the nail trimmers and the nail cutters, but we see more vascular disease, we see more systemic diseases than most family practitioners, and we
Mhm.
are the first ones that diagnose diabetes, heart disease, coronary artery disease, um, neuropathy.
Is that strictly because those things start to show in, like, the extremities first?
Yeah, they're more like systemic effects of disease. So, like,
Mhm.
80% of the population has cardiovascular and peripheral vascular disease and don't know it because they don't have symptoms.
Uh-huh.
So it's just this underlying ticking time bomb that people have, with their cardiovascular system. So and no, we're not gonna talk about bunions today, unless that's what you guys wanna talk about, we can talk about it. It's Thanks, Beth. No, there's actually some newer procedures for bunion surgery that are really that are better than, like, traditional open surgery and some newer procedures that are in the space now that we didn't have 10 years ago that are much better than 20 years ago when they were doing minimal incision. But getting back off topic and back on topic that was really the impetus for me becoming a DPM and being able to do surgery and being able to everything that we do is surgically oriented because even debriding a wound, cutting toenails, that's all classified as surgical services.
Mhm.
So it's really a surgical subspecialty and it's allopathic. It's not osteopathic. It's not a DO. And there's no difference between MD and DO anymore, guys. It's the same. They take the same USMLE. They take the same board exams. The only distinct difference between MD and DO is internal medicine versus family practice at the primary care level. But they're one and the same today. Um, but yeah, so it's really your local podiatrist, depending on where they trained and where they went to school and how much they choose to do. And I'm very comprehensive. There are guys in my area that don't do everything I do.
Mhm.
If when people come to my office and they see everything that I have, like in the toolbox, it's like they're like, "Oh my god, you're like a play chest over here." So I mean, my office is really a freestanding wound treatment center. I've been doing it
Mhm.
for 22 years now. I have a dedicated room now for fully regenerative medicine procedures for PRP and shockwave therapy, electromagnetic transduction therapy, and focused shockwave and pulse activated shockwave. I do fat grafting. We do liposana treatments for fat pad replacement. So there's a lot of stuff now. We do Botox and Sculptura and we do foot aesthetics. And yeah, so
That's crazy, man.
So
You're
it's
just
really depending on really where you live and, like, who you get to see and who's in the area, and not a lot of podiatrists are really good business guys either, and they don't have the business acumen to advance to do what they do. So,
yeah, and it's a form of community service in itself, you know what I mean? People don't think about it, but it's behind the scenes and you're keeping people healthy and everything, and
I yeah, and I always
go
tell
ahead.
every diabetic patient should have 3 doctors in their bullpen.
Uh-huh.
You need 3 when you're a diabetic, you need 3 physicians, and you always have to have these 3 physicians always. You need to have a podiatrist, you need
Mhm,
to have a nephrologist. So, a nephrologist is the doctor that takes care of your kidneys.
mhm.
You need to have an ophthalmologist because diabetes will affect your eyes, your kidneys, and your feet.
Yeah. Oh my god,
And
man.
that's why you've heard me talk about the GLP-1 drugs. I think everybody should be on a GLP-1. We can eradicate diabetes tomorrow. From a
Yeah,
public
I
health
think
perspective, we can literally eradicate diabetes because the GLP-1 drugs drop the A1C so significantly.
my dad was actually, like, pre-diabetic. He got his yearly checkup and everything, and I mean, he was just the normal 60-something-year-old dude and, oh, like, overweight, 5'10", 5'11", and kinda, I don't know, has a little bit of issues with, like, exercising and stuff like that, but the doctor recommended it, and he dropped probably, like, 50 pounds, and he looks great, and he looks like he's feeling better, and I think it's awesome, man. I think that that's somewhat of a miracle drug, you know what I mean? And I think that it gets a little bit of a bad rap because people think of it as like a crutch or something, but I don't.
Well, and
But
David just put that in the comment. I don't know if you noticed that he just asked a question about that, like, don't you have to continue? You can't well, not necessarily because you can go from weekly dosing to bimonthly.
Mhm.
You can microdose, you can macrodose, you can go up and down. You don't have to let me silence my phone real quick. So it's not necessarily, but like for me, I mean, listen, my story is real simple. I didn't become this svelte overnight, right? I mean, I lost 80 pounds on it. I mean, Sharon, congratulations for losing 200. Great. That's awesome for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um, and how they found the drug was actually by accident, believe it or not. I got
Really, what happened?
well, what's interesting is like, why am I off center here on the mobile? Like I'm seeing people if you're on mobile, like you're seeing half my head right now. I'm like
I
trying to
know, it's like,
up,
I'm
right?
trying to bob and weave and
And trying to like
everything.
center myself with the microphone here. So so they found it when they were doing bariatric surgery on patients. So they would do the lap band surgeries and they would do the open full bariatric surgeries. And
Mhm,
um, what they found was it was the use of they found these proteolytic exosomes called GLP-1s that the pancreas was secreting.
mhm,
And that's how they found these medication and then they developed that what they call it an exosome where it's a molecule, it's a precursor molecule for an enzyme and they
mhm.
turn that into a drug.
So the people that were getting the lap band surgery were creating that, and that's how they found it?
Naturally.
Really? That's
That's how they
crazy.
were able to keep the weight off.
And that's a, well, not, I don't wanna say dangerous, but I know I have a cousin who had that surgery, like, I don't know, they
It
went
just
down to
reminds me
Mexico and
of
got it.
I've been trying to listen to 2 podcasts at once. That's like yeah, Nikki, we can recommend like a 12-step program for you if you're starting to try to do 2 podcasts on Substack at the same time. Depends who
Yeah,
the other one is.
okay.
Like, if it's not it depends who the other one is. Like, that's I know we're
If
going head to head with Cliff and Lawrence right now, so,
if it's breaking news and everything, we understand.
yeah.
But
Nothing breaking today yet, I don't think.
no, they're just, it looks like Iran's getting possible. It's getting a little sketchy and
Yeah.
spicy over there.
Anything to
But
fucking distract, right?
yeah, I know. Well, I was telling David who's in the chat, I saw something. I don't know if it was just some random thing that people were sharing, but it was like some memo that was saying um Iran has evidence or video of Trump with like minors or something, and
Sure they do.
they would release it if Trump attacks Iran,
Oh,
and
please, attack Iran, please. Just
yeah, I know
release the
that.
video.
That's what I
We
was
wanna
saying.
see the yeah. Hey, guess who's
Make
on?
it
American
happen.
citizen join us.
Um,
Oh,
as far as like community support goes, you do a lot for the community. What are you seeing with Medicaid right now? I want to hear it from your end because I wrote this thing
I
about there's going to be,
was
I
having
think,
such a good day too.
911 billion in cuts over the next 10 years.
Yeah, so part of the big beautiful bullshit bill that they passed last year was
Mm,
1,000,000,000 in Medicaid tax cuts. So
Mhm.
remember during the Obama and Biden administrations when they were advancing the ACA,
Mhm.
and they were offering states to expand their Medicaid programs, right?
Mhm.
So most of the states, except for the really deep, stupid red states, even Florida expanded their Medicaid program.
Yeah.
This was additional monies given to the states to help make sure that the Medicaid programs were properly funded and they had additional programs for people. And that's how a lot of kids were beyond the don't leave any children behind programs,
Mhm.
the SKIP programs and all that stuff. So all that stuff eventually just got funded, right? So in this bill, the big one was cutting Medicaid and cutting most of the social service programs that people have relied on the last 10, 12 years.
To provide those tax cuts.
Right, to provide the tax cuts to the super duper, white supremacist pedophile wealthy class,
Yeah.
right? We might as well just call it what they are now, call a spade, right?
Mhm.
So when we're talking about, like, what's happening with Medicaid and why it's so dangerous and why this is so detrimental to the public health and why my discussion with Melissa the other day was about why public health is a national security risk,
Mhm.
right? And I don't think people draw that conclusion is, um, why it's so important because when you start blowing holes in our vaccine health,
Mhm.
and it starts to spiral across platforms of other systems. You
Mhm.
start closing schools down, you start shutting down hospital systems, you start cascading this entire effect across the spectrum where a national security leak from a vaccine, which remember, viruses
COVID.
viruses don't need passports.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
enter the country illegally and they don't need to be cleared by CBP to be here. They just come here.
Mhm.
So you start blowing through holes in the national defense network, and that starts to weaken a country, and it starts to weaken the country from an administrative state on its infrastructure side,
Yeah.
because it starts to stress the healthcare system.
Mhm.
And the healthcare system here in this country is a multi-trillion-dollar GDP event, right? So you're talking about crashing the entire system down. Um, but to really answer your question is, sorry, I just got a text from my colleague. I gotta answer real quick.
No,
So
you're good, man.
yeah, so the Medicaid cuts in particular, okay, is the really big one is they're gonna do new eligibility restrictions,
Yeah, it's like 6
okay?
months or something like that instead
Right,
of the
it's
full year.
the work requirement that they're adding
Mhm.
in, and they're gonna add in future return like, more frequent redetermination requests to see if
Mhm.
you're still valid on the system, and they're gonna add so here's the big one that they tie this into, they're gonna put a cap of $1,000,000 on home equity. Oh, yeah, nobody knows about this, so if your home increases in value through the market, through no fault of your own, you can get thrown off of Medicaid. Just because you bought your house 20 years ago and you lost your job last year and you need to go on Medicaid, but you now live in an area where your home equity's over 1,000,000, you don't qualify because they're saying that now you can take a loan against your house to tap into your home equity,
And that's pretty much
which puts
going
you
right
further in
after
debt.
boomers.
Right. That just puts you further into debt
Yeah.
because now
Mhm.
you're paying interest out at probably 8 to 12%, even though interest rates are like 4 or 5, but that's on a 30-year loan.
Yeah.
HELOC loans are totally different. I mean, this
What
is like,
the
this
fuck?
is another way of fucking the American people. It's all greed, okay? And then, part of this was they're doing provider so, of course, in any healthcare cut, the first thing they go after is the provider reimbursement,
Mhm.
okay? So, they're putting a provider tax cap in. This is fucking brilliant. So now the provider states that draw on those extra funding, so
Mhm.
this is really attacking the states that did the Medicaid expansion. So they're cutting it from the 6% down to 3.5% on federal funding. So the states that did the Medicare expansion are gonna see a 2.5% cut on their Medicaid funding.
What the
So again, where's that money going?
To the ultra wealthy, to Trump's
Wealthy,
pockets, to
went to ICE, it went to the ballroom, the bullshit ballroom, and then the new rules also are prohibiting the states from taxing Medicaid providers at higher rates than non-Medicaid providers.
So how does that affect your practice? Like,
Not really, because I don't see that many Medicaid patients. I'm
mhm,
not a Medicaid-based practice, so I don't really have that much yank in the Medicaid system, so it doesn't really affect me so much, and we talked about the reduced federal match program, um, and the state-directed payments, so they're gonna cap those payments too, so they're gonna be lowered to 100% of the Medicare rate. So, for example, in New York, like, the state was increasing the Medicaid payment rate from the federal rate
mhm,
because of just the cost of living in New York State. Well, now so this is really targeting blue states where the cost of living is higher, right? And the disproportionate share hospital payments are going to also be cut. So the rural hospitals are getting cut. The safety net hospitals are getting cut. They're going to get hammered. So if you're living in an area that is a rural area where you've got a rural hospital, yeah, just good luck. They're
yeah,
forcing, and it's mostly going after the uninsured.
yeah.
And why is it happening now? Because of the healthcare inflation. Healthcare inflation, projected this year is supposed to be at 8.5%.
And
So
what's the national average?
what,
Probably closer to
between
3. Yeah,
3, right? That's the normal, right? Um, and I don't want to tell people to go uninsured because that's just not acceptable. And so what you can do is you can just purchase what you really need, and this is what I tell people. Just get a catastrophic healthcare plan that covers you for that holy shit moment where you just need to go in the hospital. Because don't forget, as part of the big beautiful fuck you bill, guess what? Your medical debt now goes back on your credit report.
my
So
God, dude.
so now, right? So now you go into medical debt. So under the Biden administration, your medical debt was taken off of your credit report. It was considered something separate that did not, you know, it
Didn't
didn't
affect your
didn't affect your credit. Now,
daily social score
right, now it would why is your credit score so important? Okay.
because it affects pretty much your entire life, your ability to
Well,
function within the
it
system.
right, it affects your it's the regulatory way of making sure that they control how much you pay for a car loan, a home loan,
Mhm.
student loans. You need a short-term loan you need a bank loan, you need to do a private funding equity loan for whatever. It's all, the
Yeah.
whole it's all about the fee rate that you pay on top of the loan that you borrow, right? That's how
Mhm.
people make money. That's just business, right?
Yeah.
Problem is that imagine now you go into let's say your credit score is 725. You're just
Mhm.
one of those very fortunate people. You've been very good with your money, and just have you have a really catastrophic year. You get sick or whatever, and now you can't work, so now your income drops, right? Can't pay your rent. You start defaulting your car payments. You
Yeah.
start thing, and hopefully you don't, but if God forbid, right? And you need to pull a short term loan, but if something has hit your credit report and it drops 30, 40 points. And the one bank that's really bad about this, I don't know, you guys are probably all, but if you have any credit cards with Synchrony,
Mhm.
they are the worst fucking people to do business with.
Really?
Because you draw $1 off of your credit line with Synchrony, and they hammer your credit score. I
Yeah.
literally watch
The
I will
reporting and everything.
I have one card that I use specifically that's Synchrony's the bank, and if I use $1,000 of that credit line, my score will drop 15 points. It's fucking crazy.
Do they make extra money off of that? Like the
No,
reporting
because I
back?
paid off. I don't yeah, I mean, I make sure I pay my balances every month, so I'm
Yeah.
not paying those, and if so here's the thing, so for those of you that have any credit card debt, right, and this is the plan. So what you should do is line up just on a spreadsheet, on a piece of paper, you write down your balances, you write down all your cards, and you write down what your balances are, and you write down your APRs, your
Mhm.
annual percentage rate for those balances, and then you figure out your budget. So instead of paying 300 on this card, 250 on this card, 250 on this card, and you're trying to keep all your cards like right. So what you should do is take all of the money, whatever you have extra, and pick the one card with the highest interest rate, and you pay that down.
Mhm.
So let's say out of those 4 cards, say you're spending $1,500 a month in payments, right? Let's just say across the board you're going to spend 350 each card. So once you finally pay off that first card, what you do is you take that 350 from that card payment and apply it to the next payment.
Mhm.
So
You're
then,
going up the ladder.
right, so that next card now you're not paying 350, you're paying 700, you're paying 700,
Mhm.
right? And you do that until you've paid off all of your balances. Okay? It's a way to avoid going into credit debt, and you don't use the cards, by the way.
Yeah, don't pick them right
Not
now.
use the cards. I mean, this is a fucking it's right. So the whole idea is that that's how you work yourself out of credit debt.
Mhm.
Is whatever your budget payment is that you have for your credit cards each month, you don't have to change your budget. You just change the way you're applying those payments once you start getting the balances paid off.
Mhm.
Okay. And they say, oh, just call we'll call this number and we'll do a credit consolidation, da, 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 and that nails your credit even harder because that's technically what's called a soft default.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about, uh, a former partner's debt consolidation that got just ran right back up. It was like it was consolidated, and then it was like, "Oh, the credit cards are open back up. I can go shopping again." And I was like,
Right.
"Oh my god, dude."
Right.
But yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
God
So anyway, so that's that. And then like basically in a short term, like because the so here's the other thing. So if you anybody who's got like employer based insurance, you probably started getting notices from you probably yeah, even at the VA you started seeing notices that they're not going to cover GLP-1s. Like
Oh, really?
well, not that they're not going to cover it, but what they're doing is like, for example, like my wife works for JetBlue. So we
Mhm,
started getting notices from Caremark CVS. And if everybody read my last article on PBMs, which is basically how pharmacies, the pharmacy benefit managers basically screw us even further.
mhm.
Like she takes the thyroid like so like they're not covering one of her thyroid medications. And they're also not going to cover the GLP-1s. So this is when they start to see cost increases of certain drugs and they start to get certain drug runs, they start cutting those from the PBMs. The PBMs start cutting it because they start losing money.
Mhm.
And then they'll try to push you into a higher cost drug because they get better rebates from the manufacturer.
The thing I get the thing that I don't
The whole
understand
thing is a rat fucking they're all rat fuckers. All of them.
I don't understand because, I mean, obviously, I'm applying logic and common sense to it,
Oh,
but
that doesn't apply today anymore.
with all of these cuts to Medicaid and everything, it's only gonna put more stress on the
Yes.
system, it's only gonna create more health problems, and from what I was reading, the way that they're doing it is they're kinda backloading the majority of the cuts and everything so that people don't notice.
After the midterms.
Yeah, after the midterms, and it's like the majority of them come, like, in the second half, like, the second 5 years of the decade. But this is gonna put so much fucking stress and so much damage on the country, like you said, the infrastructure, and it just carries across the board, and it's just gonna cost us billions and billions and trillions of more dollars down the line. Like, what is that really the only goal, is just to get these, like, short-term tax cuts? Like, we can stuff our pockets and they can fucking worry about it later?
Yeah. I mean, this has all been about the grift. But I think, like, so many people have been saying this, right? I mean, everybody, like, the bigger Substackers, they've talked about this. Mike Nellis has talked about this, that they're not at all envisioning a future where there is no Trump administration,
Yeah, exactly.
right? I think we talked about this, you mentioned this, I think, on in our chat, like, something like that, right?
Mm,
And, like, they're planning like, they're doing this, like, in a way that, like, they don't see where because they know it's coming. I mean, like, this is
yeah,
gonna be such a fucking tsunami in the fall. Like, I mean, this is the
gonna be dangerous.
Karma cracks me up sometimes. Comments are just great. But, alright, so before I get off track, I wanted to talk because everybody's talking about the medication. So there's a couple ways to get around this, everybody, and American Citizens got some good stuff out there. So one is to get your drugs from Canada and Mexico, but just remember the Trump administration started shutting those doors down because he wanted, remember, America first. You have to buy your drugs from
Yeah,
here, right?
the Trump RX and all
Here
that.
are some other ways to do this, everybody. There are specialty pharmacies that are compound pharmacies. They're class 2 pharmacies. They're completely legal. Okay. Um, they can make or sell medications to you that are not name brand, that they literally get, like, for example, one of the pharmacies I prescribe my patients to is a compound class 2 pharmacy. They're based in Missouri. Okay. They literally they have a form of a GLP-1. It's basically either tirzepatide or semaglutide,
Mhm.
but they get it directly from the manufacturer. So they're doing it, they're buying it wholesale, and then they're compounding it with B12 and glycine so that you don't lose muscle mass. Okay. It's the
Okay.
same exact drug. It's the same exact thing without spending $500 on Lilly or Novo Nordisk's brand name Manjaro or, Wegovy or Zepbound or, whatever,
Yeah, the
you
big
know,
name brand stuff.
Beth, I'll DM you. And thanks for not sharing the wine this morning, by the way. I didn't get to see the show yet. I want to know what kind of wine you guys drink because I'm jealous.
Well, you
Because
were stuck at
we all
work
should
then
be,
drinking
with the
wine.
way things are going, we should all be day drinking. Um,
I know,
but yeah,
right?
but this is what they want. They want us poor, they want us dumb, and they want us sick.
And they've got the infrastructure to put us into fucking camps and let us die.
Well, no, there's no camps. They just put us in a warehouse building,
Yeah, exactly, the
right?
warehouses they're buying up.
And
What do
yeah, so
you as far as
the
the
compound
medication
pharmacies are a good
goes,
option for people.
what you were talking about, like, other companies being able to buy directly from the manufacturer. What do you think about, like, the thing that Mark Cuban's doing with the cost
Cost
plus
plus.
drugs or whatever? Is
So,
that good? Is that
Mar
that
yeah,
same idea?
so here's the thing with cost plus drugs. So Mark's pharmacy, and he's talked about this on podcasts, and I've seen interviews with him doing this, is they're mostly generic drugs, and he's
Mhm.
only passing the drugs on at the cost that he gets them at. He literally does not make any money on cost plus pharmacy.
Uh-huh.
So you can tell, like, if you're taking a generic drug and you're on a mail order or whatever, you can tell your physician to send the prescription to cost plus.
Mhm.
Because they have an electronic setup at their pharmacy, they can accept an electronic prescription, so you can, and then they'll ship it to you. I've done it for that's how I take metoprolol I take a little blood pressure medication just to control, and I get it from there.
Really?
Yeah, because even though my wife's employed with JetBlue and I get the insurance through JetBlue, it goes through CVS Caremark, and I freaking really hate dealing with CVS Caremark. They're just you know,
Uh,
I think Representative Ocasio-Cortez did this. It was a committee hearing, there's video on it. And she was explaining what CVS, how they control the entire food chain of you as a patient. So, so Aetna owns CVS.
Mhm.
Aetna owns CVS Caremark, which is the pharmacy benefit manager.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're
Aetna,
going.
okay, Aetna also owns like Oak Hill clinics, which are all over, I think, California and West Coast, right? So now
Mhm.
they have, and they also own their minute clinics in the actual CVS pharmacies.
Mhm.
So what they do is they capture you from the point of care all the way through from the pharmacy side all the way through the insurance side.
What the fuck,
And
man?
I also don't forget about Costco, everybody. Like Costco is actually very good if you're a member of Costco, and
Yeah,
because they do pass off their discounts to their members as well. Um, so they're actually a good resource too. But again, Costco's a membership. It's
yeah,
another membership
another
fee,
cost incurred.
you know. Um, Yeah, so it's funny how, like, when everybody wants to talk about podiatry and wound care, and it winds up becoming a public health issue
Yeah.
because it's not about the specialty of what I do, it's about how we interact with each other, and it's so rare to get physicians to come on because everybody's like, "Oh, physicians we're too busy, we can't." Bullshit. Physicians choose to not do this. They choose. It's a choice.
You guys have
It's a choice.
well, a lot of them have PAs and nurses and all
Yeah,
that
but
stuff,
it's a
so
choice.
yeah.
The whole thing's a choice, and it's your physicians don't have the time anymore to be your own to be advocates for you.
Mhm.
I'm a unicorn. I'm different. I advocate for my patients, but you as a patient are the only one that has to advocate for yourself. Evan, look at the journey you've had, right?
Mhm.
That you have had to advocate for yourself because
Yeah.
nobody reaches out with a hand to say, especially as a ex veteran, oh, we recognize you're in trouble. Here's.
No, you have to fight and
Right.
scratch and claw and be the squeaky wheel, and you have to almost see. It's frustrating for me because like I see all the stuff that I have been able to like.
And you have more resources than everybody because you get the
Yeah,
VA.
exactly. That's the thing is like I'm able to benefit from this system and what everybody should have access to. All I have to do is go online to a government website. I put in either a message to my primary care or to the scheduling thing, and they get me all set up. Like all my medicine comes from the same place. It gets sent to me. I get invoices and all that. Well, not invoices, but like the receipts and everything from my care, and it's all paid for. And I'm incredibly lucky. Granted, I have the things that fucked me up from the military and all that, but the care that I have is something that every single American should have access to. It's not that difficult.
The VA is basically is basically universal healthcare.
Yeah, and it's what everybody should have. And they have buildings and clinics all over the place, and they
Yeah,
have community care to where, like, if you can't be seen by the VA in the time that you need to be, that they'll refer you out to somebody else
which
and
I'm a
get the
part of. I'm
care.
a part of the choice program, which,
Yes.
by the way, which is another thing they fucking cut in the last budget.
Mhm.
They cut. So just so everybody knows, this is the administration that says they love to take care of our veterans.
No.
Go ask Christopher and Evan and Nick about how much more health services they're gonna have.
So I at the
How
beginning
about
of the year,
they cut it?
the beginning of last year, yeah, like, after they passed the legislation and everything, I had been going to the same place for mental health care with community cares for 5 years, I think. It was great. I had, like, TMS treatment, the transmagnetic stimulation for, like, depression and anxiety and
Well, that's what
everything.
screwed you up.
Yeah. I had therapy, I had medication management, and the place was great. Like, it was run by, he was the head of psychiatry or the head of behavioral health over at Fort Carson, and he opened up his own place, and I got a I went in for my next appointment, and the medication management lady was like, "Oh, your, referral got denied and everything," and then the VA is telling me, "Oh, you have to come back for care here and everything, and there's no continuity," and that's the thing is that, like, they pass these things and it gets thrown downhill, and you've got a bunch of veterans losing their fucking minds trying to find their medicine and everything, and it's all because some asshole wanted to throw that in the bill and get it passed. These people are fucking horrible. I think that's, like, the main theme of the day is that they make these decisions at the macro level, and
And I've been in the room. I've been in
they
the
don't
room, remember.
realize what happens to us.
I've been in the room. I have been in that room at in Bethesda, Maryland. I have been at HHS.
Uh-huh.
I have sat in that room.
Is it
I've been in those conference rooms. I have sat with administrators. I have sat with deputy administrators.
is it a spreadsheet kinda thing? Is it like they just look at it like numbers, like,
Mhm.
"Hey, there's no question of, like, what's the direct human cost of this gonna be?"
Well, I think they the people, the rank and file that used to work at HHS and
Mm,
CMS, I think they're really truly dedicated civil employees. They really are.
decent people.
They're decent people. These are, your neighbors. These are people who dedicate, and the people that do work in the federal public service
Mhm.
really are dedicated. They really truly are. They're really good people. They really wanna this is something that's always been a calling for somebody to go work for, the VA system or to go to work at DOD or to work in the Department of Agriculture,
The
to be
upper echelons of the
right,
government.
right? And these are people the people have chosen a life of public service
Mhm.
to work for the federal government. I mean, the benefits are great, right? Like, you get your holidays off, you get pensions, but it's because you have maybe you couldn't serve or you were and keep in mind, most of the government employees were what percentage ex-veteran?
A lot.
35%, right?
Mhm.
So this administration, as part of their fucking Doge project, really what did they do? They went after veterans because the majority, 30% of the employees are ex-military. These fucking animal, fucking white supremacist, pedophile fucking people. That was just one long on bleep.
It's the it's the
This is a bit,
they
but
don't
I
care
mean,
about us.
this is they don't care. It's all about the money. It's always been about the money. And now it has only been about the money. Now it's not even about the money anymore. Now it's about protecting the money and protecting the 0.1% and rounding the circles and circling the wagons around this whole administration because they know that this whole thing's gonna fucking come down.
Yep, and they're fighting
And
like
yes,
hell to
and
make
yeah,
sure it
Italy
doesn't.
is striking right now, but they're not striking during the Olympics. They will not the Italian government said that they can't do it during the Olympics.
There's
They can't
people
do it
overseas are
they
protesting more
can't do
than
it in
we
Milan,
are.
they can't do it in Cortina. Um, but it's yeah, I mean, this whole thing is a house of cards coming down. Ellie's been amazing at breaking all this down. Kate, Lev, Zev, Dean, everybody,
Mhm.
Heather Delaney Reese and, Richardson Cox and everybody who's been involved with all this, everybody but Michael Cohen. But, like, yeah,
Yeah, fucking
'cause I think I'm the only person he hasn't come after yet. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just it's there's no reason for us to have this level of shit representation in Washington looking out for our interests. This shit needs to stop, and we have the power to stop it. We really, really do. And,
absolutely.
you
Do
know,
you
and
think that there's any possibility after the midterms, like if Democrats have a clean sweep, they take over Congress again, do you think that that should be one of the main priorities is like,
Nuremberg trials?
well, obviously that's number 1. That's what I want. Obviously, the consequences and everything are number 1, but from, like, a benefit to us standpoint, is the bolstering of Medicaid, is that something that's possible for them to do? Do you think that that's
Well, keep in mind, remember, whatever they do in Congress has to be signed
yeah,
off by the president,
it's
right?
absolutely.
But if you make him completely impotent because you
Mhm,
have both houses of Congress and, and here's the thing, like, I saw a story earlier today, there was about I think Heather wrote it, where the talk about Alito and Thomas resigning before the end of the
mhm.
year so that Trump could get 2 Supreme Court picks. Because remember, they've already blown the filibuster on Supreme Court selections,
Yep,
okay? So
and
they can just
Democrats aren't gonna give them shit.
right, and then so you're gonna have and remember, it's 53-46 or was it 53-47, whatever it is right now.
53-47, I think.
You do that in an election year. Remember, Susan Collins is running for reelection, so she's down to 52. Murkowski, I don't think she's running for is she running for reelection?
I don't think so, I think she
Other I
might be
mean,
in
I
2
mean,
years.
you go after the senators that are at risk for reelection, and
Yeah,
there is no way in hell that they put on 2 more Trump justices in this there's no way. They'll get fragged in October. They
mhm,
get fragged in November, and, like, I think the push from us, like, right now, the SAVE Act looks like they don't have enough votes to break the filibuster,
yeah,
and most of the flip Republicans in the Senate are not going to allow the legislative filibuster to be broken because
mhm.
they know when that happens, the party's over when it flips. It's all over.
Yeah,
They break
exactly.
they break the legislative filibuster, that the party's over. Because as soon as the Democrats win in 2025 and they take in January 3rd, 2026, the party's over for everybody
Yeah, they're
on
completely
the
and
side because then they just
self-sufficient,
need
so
51. You need 51 and you can do it with 218 and you're done.
mhm,
And so I said this before, you have 435 House seats.
yep.
You're not gonna get all 435, it's not gonna happen, but you can have FDR type numbers of like 60 to 80 seats that could flip in the House.
Yeah, especially if we're flipping 17-point swings and shit like
Oh,
that.
totally. And then you've got 35 Senate seats available.
Mhm.
And now the re and now and then here's the thing, about 20 to 25 of those are flippable right now. If you had asked me this question in January, I would have said the Senate was nowhere in play, but
No, maybe 3
Senate
seats?
the Senate is very much in play, okay? And there are a couple people running for Senate around the country that can do a lot of fucking damage if they get elected.
Mhm. Yeah,
So, like, Mallory in Michigan, whether it's Talrico in Texas or it's
or
Crockett,
Crockett, yeah.
right? Um, Whoever we can replace in Maine, if we can get Susan Collins out,
You can get Graham Plattner in there.
Plattner in there. I mean, it's The thing is, we can do a lot of I mean, Schumer probably will not be running.
Jesus fuck. You get AOC in there to replace him, that would
Schumer's not running again, so that's a good thing. You know, there is if we can flip Florida and get Vindman in there, he's running Alexander Vindman, the colonel
yeah.
who for the national security team in the Ukraine thing. He's running against, Ashley Moody down here, who was never fucking elected, by the way, in Florida. He
His
was a
brother already a senator
he's
or
a congressman.
congressman.
He's a
Yeah, that's what I
congressman,
thought.
right. So, if we can get Ashley Moody out of Florida,
Mhm.
and keep in mind, Florida's a flip state too now.
Yeah,
Governor,
no, I saw
lieutenant
somebody was like,
governor, Senate.
Rick should run in Florida." I was like, "Oh, shit." Like, can you imagine Senator Wilson? They're frying people on a committee.
It's there's a lot. Yes, Kate Powell's really good, AC, she's amazing. Um, there's a lot and there's 36 governorships,
Mhm.
okay? So, I wanna Beth just said she likes Talarico. There's been so much analysis over what the FCC kind of screwed up the other day with Colbert. So, by not putting him on the show, he raised
Barbara
over
Streisand effect.
$3 million. He raised
Yeah.
$3 million in 48 hours. Like,
I bet you Crockett's team was so fucking mad.
well,
They
no,
have
because no, but what Colbert's gonna do is he's gonna give Crockett the same amount of time now.
Oh, she's going on now too?
Yeah, and he'll put it up on YouTube. He doesn't give a shit. If they tell him he can't put it on, he'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Mhm.
You
I
know?
don't
It's like they think they're defusing the bomb and then they step on the landmine.
I was talking to a buddy about it last night, is like, how are they so fucking stupid that they don't realize that they're doing this stuff? But I know that they're
It's
fucking
all because
morons.
it's all because, dear leader says, "Bow, kneel," and that's what they do.
He gets impulsive and they
I
just
just don't
carry it
under
out.
just don't really I can't I guess maybe because I'm secular and I'm devoid of religion. I mean, I'm not devoid of religion, I'm Jewish, but it's like I don't live by the Judeo-Christian principles do not govern my thinking process. So, and Walter had mentioned this to me, because I'm very secular, I'm able to disassociate from the MAGA Christian reality of that life
Mhm.
because I'm so secular. I think if we could figure out a way to get to the pastors
Yeah,
and flip the conversation on the pastors when they at these mega churches. Oop, my microphone's falling over here. Um,
and
you
that's
know,
why I like Talarico in the first place. I wrote a thing about it for Lincoln Square that Crockett's great, like, she has good policies. We can debate the AIPAC stuff, her support of Israel, all of that. She she would be a great senator, I think, but in Texas with those political realities, Talarico he's so much stronger as a candidate in the
I hate
general.
to I hate to get real. I hate to get. I'm not trying to be racial here because I'm not that guy.
But Texas is, and that's the
Texas is.
realities of it.
The reality of Texas is you need to have a white guy.
Mhm.
It's just you but I think across the board, if we can primary the older establishment, men and women,
Mhm.
get the right see, the whole key to winning elections is the ability for a candidate to connect to the people that they are going to represent.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really the trick. That's the key. That's the cheat code. It's being able to connect to people.
Mhm.
And I saw that firsthand on here, everybody. I mean, we have 73 people in the chat, and I really appreciate everybody being here, supporting Evan and I. Um, but when I wrote that post on that diabetic patient, and that thing went like super viral.
Yeah.
Um, it went like, and I'm still getting stuff off of that. And that was January 14th. That's crazy.
Mhm.
But what it did was it connected that, and it
Yep.
wasn't a story, right? It's a real true story. I didn't put it out there just to get likes and followers, and that was not the point.
'Cause people see themselves in it. They
Right.
see it on a human level.
It was a real patient with a real situation, and I kinda wrote it as a first draft. I didn't even, like wasn't even thinking about how when I look back at how I wrote, I'm like, "God, the syntax is terrible. It's a terrible post. Oh my god." My English teacher would, like, give me an F on this way I wrote it. It's there, but I wrote it in a way that connected to people,
Mm,
and that is what people we are craving connection. We need connection. That's what's amazing about Substack is, like, I didn't know Evan 5 months ago.
no.
Really did not know Evan. I reached out to him after reading one of his pieces, and we've really become really close, but, like, just really good guy
We'll be
friends.
friends for life.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
and, and it's I think COVID did a lot of damage to a lot of people because of the
Yeah,
working in
100%.
place, not going to offices, not going to school, and and it's one of the reasons how I found Substack. I mean, yes, I have a lot of connections during the day. I'm seeing patients. I do a lot of speaking outside. I've been traveling. I do all this stuff, but I I didn't have a place for this,
Yeah.
and we as a community, we were all in agreement here. I mean, there's nothing in the chat that's saying, "Yeah, Eric, you're fucking wrong. Fuck you and your left principles, and goddamn Evan's wearing his hat backwards, and I can't support anything he's saying." You know,
Everybody's going through this shit together. We
we're all
just
doing
need
this
to
together.
realize it.
But at the end of the day, everybody, we see the same thing. We want to live in a country where the rule of law is precedent. This is how we were raised on the rule of law, right?
Mhm.
We swore, Evan and I have both taken this oath numerous times to protect and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, when we were
It's
serving
more foreign than
more
domestic.
foreign, and now it's domestic, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, who'd have thought that our greatest enemy within would be the guy sitting in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue?
God
Like,
help me.
okay, when your numbers as president of the United States are 50 points less than Vladimir Zelensky, okay, on leaders in the world, you're failing. You're a failure.
Mhm.
And when your numbers are worse than Erdogan's,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and yes, karma, he's a symptom. And right now, I can tell you for a fact from a medical perspective, he is declining rapidly.
He he looks bad.
Like, he's not if you notice everybody, he is not nothing is in the morning.
No.
Think about your crazy grandpa Joe, who doesn't get out of bed till can't get his shit together till 11:30, 12 o'clock in the afternoon,
Mhm.
right? Okay? Like, this is the crazy grandpa who shouldn't be driving, won't give up the car keys,
And has the fucking
is
nukes.
hiding from the family how sick he is,
Mhm.
right?
Hi his dad dealt with the same thing. His dad was doing, dinner parties and shit and walking downstairs with dye streaming down his face.
I
Do
thought
we
that
need
was
to
Giul
wrap this up?
I thought that was Giuliani. No, no, I just got a piece of mail I gotta open up real
Well,
quick.
no, it was Giuliani too, but Trump's
Yeah.
dad was doing shit like that back in the day when he started getting
You really
and
want this?
stuff.
It's a $35 bill for my Clover handheld flex credit card machine, so
No, you got it. You
I
can
think
take care of that.
I think I can take care of that.
You'd be alright. It won't break the bank or anything.
But here's the thing, like, I mean, think about where we're at. Like, if he goes tomorrow, we get Peter Thiel as president.
Yeah.
I'm not saying JD Vance, I'm saying Peter Thiel.
Yeah, we all know who owns him. That's he fucking
Right.
but then we gotta get even more serious because those are people that, while they don't have the cult of personality, they do have the intelligence that Trump doesn't. And that's a whole 'nother danger that you gotta adjust for and take care of and all that shit.
Did everybody see
So
the new meme that came out with Bondi with her in a Nazi uniform? It was a meme
no, I've seen all the ones
called
of
Skunked. It's
with
called Skunked.
her. She she's sitting in the chair, or Trump sitting in the chair, and it's like the George W. Bush when he was told about 9/11, like, "Sir, we've lost Rittenhouse," and all this shit because everybody's turning on Bondi. Jesus Christ. Well, listen, man, I know you got a busy day and
No, we're
everything.
good. We can keep going.
You do?
Yeah,
Alright. So,
you're my bud, dude. You get as much time as you need. It's
what else I wanted to ask you.
not like I'm an attorney and I have billable hours here.
All right. I want you to tell people about pickleball, and I want you to
Oh
celebrate
gosh. You
as
only talking about
community
pickleball really of
because
all things?
we all do need community, and that's what we've been
Yes.
talking about.
Okay.
And
So for those of
let
you
them
that
know.
are interested, so all 82 of you that want to leave the chat, now's a good time. So, okay, so here's the thing. So I started playing pickleball in 2017, way before it became super popular. So for
Hmm.
those of you that don't know, I went to University of Michigan. I played collegiate hockey at the University of Michigan. I was a defenseman, and I blew my knee out my freshman year. And I basically I couldn't do the lateral movement skating I needed to play defense anymore.
Hmm.
So I wound up so I kept my academic scholarship and just couldn't play collegiate hockey anymore. So hence the flip to the military and then med school and podiatry school and then where my career's taken me now. So I couldn't I was playing a lot of golf, but I just was whatever. And it wasn't I was a 3 handicap and I wasn't getting the same enjoyment out of playing golf as I used to.
Uh-huh.
And a couple people introduced me to pickleball. I'm like, "Oh, this is like ping pong, except you're playing on a badminton court." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I can do this." And then my hockey skills because of my hand-eye coordination, because I was a defender, I was a defenseman and a goalie. So
Hmm.
all of a sudden I'm playing at the net line, at the kitchen line or the non-volley zone. So the way it works is a pickleball court is 44 feet long, 20 feet wide. There's a zone in front of the net, 7 feet on each side called the non-volley zone. So you can't step in there and volley the ball out of the air. You cannot hit the ball out of the air in there.
Hmm.
You have to let it bounce. So I started playing pickleball and all of a sudden there was this whole and then this is still when I was using Facebook.
Hmm.
And I started connecting to the people who I was involved with playing pickleball.
Hmm.
And sudden and all of a sudden, like, the numbers were like my friend numbers were doing this, right, in my network on Facebook. And and then I started playing a few tournaments here and there just
Hmm.
for fun, and I was doing really well. I was, gold medals and finishing 1st and 2nd and, just and all of a sudden, I just started getting really involved in not just the game of pickleball, but the strategy. It's really like figure like it's not like tennis is like checkers because 'cause you're just smacking the ball hard enough to hit a winner.
Hmm.
Doubles pickleball is so intricate, it's a dance, and it's a chess match, right? Because
Hmm.
you're trying not to throw a ball up that you're gonna get drilled on,
Yeah.
that kinda thing. So, it became very strategic, and I just happen to have a pickleball right here. So, because when I'm on Zoom calls, I'll start flipping the ball like this just to kinda keep my mind active. But, who would have thought that this .9 ounce wiffle ball would have had the impact on the world that it's having, right?
Hmm.
And so I started getting involved more into the development and the science of the game, and I wound up becoming a developer of a shoe that's on the market.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna plug here because I'm not gonna shamelessly plug stuff. If you want, everybody can DM me
You
later.
plug whatever you
I'm
want.
not gonna plug it. Okay, fine. It's pickleballshoe.com. Um, but yeah, so it's we have both men's and women's and different colors and stuff. And if everybody's interested, just DM me. I'll send you my discount code. But I'm a minority owner. I don't own the entire company. I have a very small percentage of the company. But and then I started getting into the paddle tech and just kind of getting into the whole then the whole thing started where because I was playing all these tournaments locally and everybody knew I was a physician, people started coming in to see me for the
Then it
injuries.
carries over to the
All the
business
injuries are
world.
starting now. I'm starting to see all the injury stuff. Now I'm starting to see the
Mhm.
Achilles tendonitis, the shoulder injuries, even though I'm a podiatrist, people are coming in for shoulder. They're coming to see me for everything, right? And that's how all this kind of started exploding with my regenerative medicine practice.
Mhm.
Was everybody wants to get back on the court as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So that's how this is all kind of just blown up. But w- what Evan's going at with pickleball is more about the feel of community and the ability to get out and do something social because anybody can play as long as you just do your warm ups. As that's the physician public service statement. Just make sure you warm
Stretch.
and stretch and get limber. And if you don't want to learn how to play, there are pickleball professionals in every part of the country that can teach you how to play. You can learn the game on a tennis court. It doesn't have to be on a pickleball court because all you need is a ball, a net, and a paddle. We don't call these things rackets. We call them paddles. A pickleball paddle, everybody. Okay, they range in width from anything from like 14 to 16 millimeters in width here. This is an elongated version, so it's an elongated head type versus a square, wider head type. You know, standard grip anywhere between 4.5 to 5.5 inches. The weight of the paddle is around 7.5 to 8 ounces, so it's not super heavy. And depending on your preference, you can add extra lead taping to the edge guard, and you can, increase the weight if you want. But it's just a fun way to get outside and it's so addicting because you're just like games are about 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, I've had some of my games go 20, 25, 30 minutes because it's a higher skill level game. So it's
Mhm.
we're not making as many mistakes and we're trying to be more patient. But a lot of people who just start just rip the shit out of the ball. They just as hard as they can. So, but you gotta stretch and you gotta work out. And I see a lot of injuries from people who just jump on the court, no warm up, no nothing. It's like any other athletic activity, just make sure you're wearing the proper shoes, you stretch, you warm up, use a Theragun, a massage pistol, something, and then don't forget to stretch afterward. Doesn't the ball hit the wall and come back flying back? No, that's not me. That's racquetball, Beth.
Yeah, that
That's racquetball.
racquetball's too
That's racquetball.
chaotic for me.
Squash and racquetball. I learned how to play racquetball. It's actually one of my early sports. That's why I have such a fast backhand.
Yeah.
That
I
and
think
fun
the big
hitting my
lesson is, like, people just gotta take a chance on something. They gotta
yeah.
take a chance on themselves and get out there, and it's only gonna benefit you when you open yourself up and
It's
hang
like
out with other
anything new.
people. Yeah.
Like, I remember when I first started on Substack and my wife was like, "Aren't you nervous going online?" I'm like, "No, I public speak all the time. This is nothing. This is easy.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 10 years doing video meetings like this. This is nothing for me."
Mhm.
You know?
It's the
But I
same thing.
and I encourage everybody. Oh, and this is the other thing I wanna talk about real quick, Calvin. Since
Mhm.
you're publishing, I did a live a couple days ago with, I did a live and I think I had AC on. And
Yeah,
we were talking about joining the National Writers Union. So, anybody that's doing any type of publication journalism on Substack,
that's a really good
any
idea.
other media, right? You should join the National Writers Union because the NWU will provide you some legal protection in the event of litigation.
Yeah,
Because you're a published independent journalist creating web-based content or internet content, and then you can also apply for a press pass with your publications. Like, Evan, you have
yeah,
enough publications that you could submit those and receive your press pass for domestic events. So you could cover a local event in Colorado Springs
and you're
and be
protected.
be admitted as a member of the press to cover. And you just show your press card. And then they also have an international one the National Writers Union is only one of two agencies in the United States that will issue a press card.
And if you're making under $15,000 a month or yeah, under
5,000
$15,000 a month on here, it's 1875.
a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
It's really inexpensive. But also joining the NWU, also if you're worried about healthcare, they have, hey, Lauren's on. Nice. Hey, finally at the end of the damn conversation.
Yeah, I know as we're wrapping up. Everybody was busy with somebody else's
I
shit.
know. We're not almost at 100 yet. We're not there yet.
There's a lot of shit
Um,
going on today.
there's a lot of people live right now. Um, but like the NWU, really, if you look at their website and the member benefits, they have healthcare packages. They can work with you. There's the legal plans with the free legal protection. They have other references with areas that you can help with your writing and publishing with publishers that can help you publish your work. If you're a
This
professional writer, they have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of resources out there for independent journalists and writers and photographers, and so it has anything to do with
dude,
exactly.
that is awesome. I'm gonna put this, like I'm gonna
Yeah,
link the website and everything into the post when I put it up. But yeah, that's awesome. That's definitely because I was thinking about that too. I was gonna ask Susan about it with Lincoln Square, like, hey, if I wanted to cover something, like, do I have to get a press pass from you guys? But no, I can just go through this and
right. You just need 2 passport photos, which you can go to your hateful pharmacy that you don't wanna go to and, photos. Um, yeah, and it's just one of those things, like, for me, like, if I wanted to go to a medical conference, I can go as member of the press. If I don't wanna
yeah.
register for the meeting, I won't get my continuing education credits, but I could cover the meeting as a member of the press, which
Hmm.
gives you different access to speakers to the CMEs, to all the sessions but
Exactly.
yeah, so I mean, if anybody is out there publishing anything, especially with this government right now where they're reporting the shit that you're writing on, they're tracking us, they're
Don Lemon's getting arrested.
Don Lemon. I mean, the minute that Regina Ford and Don Lemon got arrested, and I forgot the other 2 who were arrested, I mean, once the government starts going after the free press, we've got a problem,
Yeah.
you know, because that's a First Amendment right. And
Mhm.
if anybody remembers, what are our First Amendment rights? You have freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, and the freedom to petition. Those are the 5 pillars of the First Amendment. And I think Walter put a post out, I think it was like last week, he said, "Which amendments has this administration not?" And I put a list out. I think it was like 3, 7, 9. It was like I think there are about 10 of them he hasn't broken yet, 19 and 21, which I'm surprised he hasn't because he doesn't drink alcohol. I'm surprised he hasn't repealed the 21st Amendment yet. But
Yeah,
I would if he repealed 21, he would lose everybody else because
yeah, all the inbreds wouldn't have their beer.
don't take the beer. Um, don't take the beer. But, and listen, I mean, we have a lot of serious problems. We have very unserious people dealing with these problems at the federal level. But also, everybody, my public service announcement is beyond the healthcare stuff.
Yeah.
It's it's make sure that you start researching your local elections.
Mhm.
We all focus on the national stuff because it's easy to focus on the national stuff because it's only this much of our life.
Yeah.
But every decision we make is based on politics. And people try to say, "Oh, I'm not engaging." I'm like, "Really? Everything we do about life is about politics." We're even talking about having to join a writers union because the government's thinking about coming after those of us that are writing independently.
Even potholes, annoying traffic patterns, all of it. It
Yeah,
all
I
gets
mean,
affected.
yeah, when you flush your toilet, that's a utility,
Mhm.
right? You call 911, that's a municipality service. That's socialism, by the way.
You don't
Just in case you
want
didn't, right?
methane in your fucking water in your
Right.
toilet either.
Well, who knows now with the EPA getting gutted. Um,
Mhm.
no, I'm still working on the Grenache from this morning. That's gonna be like hammer if you see Beth typing and it looks like dyslexic, she's really shit faced at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Um,
Oh my god.
oh my god.
Alright, my friend, we gotta wrap up. I gotta get back to some of this writing and everything. Tell everybody how they can support you,
Yeah.
where they can find you, all your fun stuff.
I'm not the one you guys need to support. He's the guy you need to support, okay? My stuff is no paywall. My stuff is not paid. My stuff is free. You can reach me at Dr. Lullove, on Substack, and so just a couple things I'm taking care of, everybody, so you know. I'm starting a new series on Mondays and Tuesdays. Um,
Yeah.
Evan's getting, hungry over this. So, on Monday, I will be posting a photo called Bread of the Week. So, one of my little favorite little things to do is to bake a lot of bread, and I'm gonna be picking a bread to do, I'm not a show you. FCCU, okay? Um, yeah, so I'm gonna be putting out a bread each week, and, and then what I'm gonna do on Tuesdays is post a picture of the bread sliced open so you guys can see the crumb on the inside, and then I'll post the recipe in detail so you guys can try to make it at home, and I'll put in the recommendations of what I use for flour and what type of yeast I use, and
You've got pita and
do
sourdough
I do
and
pita I'm actually gonna probably do a pita bread this weekend for everybody and put that up, so and I'll if I think what I'm gonna do, just because I love everybody so much on Substack and as a favor, I'm actually gonna put out my hummus recipe, okay? So, my hummus recipe is titled Dr. Eric's Better Than Store-Bought Hummus. See, we're at 103 now because we started talking about bread. See?
bread and pickleball.
Pickle
See?
pickleball and pita bread, right? And
That's the
hummus.
draw.
Um, and So that's gonna be the new thing. I mean, I'm probably gonna do it twice a month versus every week because that's a lot of bread. My wife will kill me because every time I make her bread, she yells at me about the fact that now she has to eat it. And but at least it's healthy bread because it's all
There's
home.
worse problems to have.
I know, right? So, like, I told her, I said, "Really, you got a real first world problem there, bringing up bread." Um, but I love my wife, everybody. She's, like, amazing. She's, like, my partner. She's the best. And then, you can catch Evan and I tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 Eastern with
Yes,
Nick
sir.
and the Diogene group and our little Diogene club. I think we have a special guest tomorrow, don't we? Can we get a confirmation?
I don't know if we have confirmation yet, but I know there's an invite
Oh,
out there.
there's an invite, everybody, and, like, can we leak it just in case?
Do it.
So, we have put out a special invite, everybody, for Zev Shalev to join us in our talk tomorrow afternoon. So, that's gonna be an amazing talk. Zev's a great human being. Zev's amazing. Like,
That'll kick up the
I
viewership.
might just sit on mute the whole time and just let you guys just duke it out with him on the air, but it's
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good.
yeah, so we do the second and fourth Tuesdays at 12:30 with Nick and Walter. You guys can see Walter chair dance. Walter
Yeah.
chair dancing. Um,
Walter's the best.
Walter's great. And then I will be on with Stephanie next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Um, and then next Tuesday, I will be putting it out there. We're doing an hour with Dr. Angie Rasmussen from the University of Saskatchewan. So we're going to talk about viruses and virology and national defense. And we might even talk about the Save America movement a little bit. So that's my upcoming schedule. So that's next Tuesday with Dr. Rasmussen at 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Evan and I on 12:30 tomorrow afternoon with Nick and Walter. And next week for me will be me and Dr. Stephanie at 1 p.m. Eastern. And now, Evan, it is all you, big guy. It's your turn. Where's your QR code for everybody to?
I don't need a QR code. These are all my people. I'm just glad to have the conversation with you, and I appreciate you, man. You
So
are
everybody smash those
the
hearts
best.
for Evan. He's a great guy. His writing's amazing. And if you have not been reading, oh, by the way, if you have not been reading his American Successor series,
Stop.
oh, I'm gonna make you blush now, buddy. Uh-uh.
I wrote fiction, everybody. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's great.
Evan has written a series called The American Successor. And when I tell you that is some of the best fictional writing that I have read in a long time, Evan's got something really good here, everybody. You need to go onto his feed and download the chapters and they're quick reads, but it's really brilliant writing for what he's writing about.
Some
And
inside baseball for DC and stuff too.
yeah, and catch up on his stuff with Fourth and Democracy, which is his little play on the NFL, and his Midweek Burn. And I do a better job plugging you than you.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought you on here. You're the best, buddy. I
I
love
can
you.
I can sell anybody their own sand. Uh, how do you
Thank
think I get
God.
people to? How do you think I get people to just do what I ask them to do for medical care?
Trust me, I know. It's
Is
why
this a
you
face
are
you
who you
trust?
are. Yes.
This is not a face you trust. No,
Yeah, I trust you. All right, buddy.
right.
All right,
Thanks,
guys, I love
everybody.
you.
Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to let Evan finish this one. I'm going to shut the mic off.
We will see you guys next week on the Midweek Burn, where actually next week I was supposed to have a trip that I am not taking anymore. I will tell
Oh,
you
so you
about
are going to
that.
have one.
Yeah, so we're gonna have the episode next week. The trip is getting canceled for other reasons. I will tell you why in a little bit.
Oh, the trip that you told me you were going to do.
Yeah, but I got other plans that
All
are
right.
good. They're all good. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. All
All right,
right, bye
everybody.
guys.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. Love you.
Love you too. Bye guys.
Yeah, buddy.